Coming out to parade for race number 5, the second of the Group 1s, Ladbrokes National Futurity Final for 2022. There is our speed map Duke, and very hard to argue with Coco Model leading. She can run low 5:30. She ran 5:30 right on the dot, leading here in the heat last week.
Which is airborne, Timmy. That's like being tied to the arm.
Well, they don't run any quick. Oh, the Estranged has got the record here, 5:22 maybe, I think, early on.
But by Lucas Zapata,
yeah, they don't generally get down to below 5:30. She did run that 5:30. She's perfectly drawn on the inside. She'll be punching for the front. She hasn't got a great deal of strength, so she'd need to lead and pinch a margin mid-race to get home, Coco Model.
Yuko Girl by Zambora Brocky out of Yuko, trained by Sam Sultana, which is Darren Sultana's uncle. And Yuko Girl only lightly raced, 9 starts, 7 wins, but a definite contender. Had won 3 on the bounce at Winnie before running second behind Sheik last week.
And she was gallant when she finished runner-up 2 in that heat. She was, well, you could probably say the meat in the sandwich in the drive to the first corner, and she did cop a bump, and that's where Sheik got the fly and pinched it mid-race.
All right, number 3 is Idolise. As I said, we spoke to Peter Prosciutto during the week on Behind the Boxes, and it's drawn box number 3, a good winner here last week, running 29.88.
And first up at the track under race conditions, she was brilliant. She won the Group 2 Sandown Laurels late last year. I love her draw box number 3, where she can ping to the front or sit even on the outside of Coco Model, work into the back straight.
Sipping Pearl is from box number 4 for trainer Johnny Finn, and we go to box number 5, and that is Caroline Anthony as a party. Greyhound, you don't mind at odds. Before we do that, Timmy, number 2 here, Yuko Girl, the market mover with Ladbrokes, 650 into 460. Caroline draws box 5.
I think she's the best roughie in the race. I like to win. She didn't really put the time on the board, but it was a manner in which she won her heat, 30 and 23. I think she can improve on that time. I don't mind a draw, box 5. She's a greyhound who could easily challenge for the early lead.
The Group 1 Dapto Megastar winner is Ritzadonna from box 6. We know she's got a massive engine. She ran 29.72 in her heat here last week, which was the best of the night, including the Pulse of Thunder heats.
And she's really, really strong, Duke. She was home in 11.60 odd in her heat. If she gets a run through at the first turn, the leaders better look out.
Sheik for Pete Prosciutto, the second of his runners here in the National Futurity. Draws box 7, had box 8 last week when running 29.77, and as Peter told us earlier in the week, as strong as an ox.
Yeah, and she'll improve with a look around the track. She's just got a little tricky draw underneath She's Savage.
She's Savage draws box 8 for Jessica Savage. As I said, she had her first runner at Wentworth Park here last week when She's Savage led up Ritzadonna. She's got a ton of early pace. She's currently around that $8 quote.
And wouldn't it be a fairy tale victory if she was able to take the Futurity?
All right, they are about to be boxed. The second of our Group 1s tonight, the Group 1 National Futurity. It's worth $75,000 to the winner. Upstairs, here's Matty Jackson.
Sheik at $5.50, She's Savage at $9.50. Last of them placed in. Green light is switched on. This is the National Futurity. Favourite box 3. Ready. Racing now, and Idolise, she jumped brilliantly, and she will lead clearly at the judge from Coco Model, and Sheik came over into 3rd placing, and 4th as She's Savage out of the straight. They're followed next by Caroline, then Zipping Pearl on the rail from Yuko Girl, and last is Ritzadonna, but it is Idolise off the back. She's in full control. She's 4 in front, Coco Model in 2nd. They're followed by Sheik and She's Savage, but around the turn it's all Idolise, and she's run them ragged in the Futurity and won it easily. Idolise beat Sheik. 3rd Coco Model, 4th Ritzadonna getting home from She's Savage, then Zipping Pearl, Caroline and Yuko Girl. It's around 29.70 the time. Number 3, Idolise.
Jeff Britton, Quinella, the Group 2 Summer Distance Plate. And Peter Prosciutto, who told us on Behind the Boxes last week there was something special about Wentworth Park. He Quinellas the National Futurity with Idolise and Sheik. And Timmy, That race was done and dusted, 3 strides out of the boxes.
Off the mat, Duke, it was all over Red Rover. 5:30, 13:80, 17:89, home at 11:91, 29:80. She nailed the jump and she put it beyond doubt in a couple of strides. Peter hadn't been to Wentworth Park for a number of years before coming up here last week. And look at his son next to him, James, walking back down that home straight. He was pumped last week, James, because he handled Chic, and the sisters have won. The sisters have Quinella the race, 5:30 early, Duke, 5:30. So you are unleadable if you're running that early section.
Timmy, again, it was simply a case mathematically they can't run it down. Coco Model chasing before tonight. Coco Model had a best of 29.98, and we knew she wasn't going to run down Idolise. And you were looking for Chic to come out of the pack to give Pete the Quinella. What about that? Jeff Brett and Quinella's the Group 2 summer distance plate. Jay Ferguson, Quinella's the National Derby with his 2 runners out of Slingshot Gypsy. And now we've got Peter Prosciutto from Victoria. There's his son James walking back, who handles Chic. Peter Prosciutto, Quinella's the Group 1 National Futurity. I'm sure he is a very, very excited man, and he's downstairs with Dave Carlson. All right, just a couple of little audio problems there. We'll get Dave to hold on to Pete if we possibly can. And as I said, Timmy, what a great effort. Firstly, to win a Group 1 race. Secondly, to Quinella it. Dave's right now with Pete Prosciutto.
Well, Pete, Duke said just a couple of seconds ago that last week you said you thought Wentworth Park was a pretty special place. What can you say now? You've Quinella'd it.
Oh, I'm speechless. Honestly, it's just fantastic what we've come here to do. The 2 girls have run first and second. I mean, to win, it's fantastic. Run second just adds a bit of cream to it a bit. But yeah, overall, I'm just speechless, to be honest.
When she ran 5:30 to the first mark, you must have thought.
To be honest, I didn't even see it.
The way she pinged, it was all over from the passing the post on the first occasion.
Yeah, well, she trialled well here. She raced. I thought she missed it a bit here last week out the boxes. She just nailed it tonight. So with each run she gets here, she's obviously going to get better. So onwards and upwards with her, I guess. Hopefully, some good races coming up later in the year. So we'll have a crack at them, I think, if she gets.
Absolutely brilliant, Quinella-ing the big race. Last week, you told me when you left Wentworth Park, you got lost. You ended up going over the Harbour Bridge. You're heading north instead of south to Melbourne. It doesn't really matter now, does it?
But it wasn't my fault. It was my wife's fault. She got the Google Maps mixed up, so I'll blame her anyway.
You might have to get a chauffeur to drive you back to Melbourne.
I think it's going to be a late night tonight. I think we got all the crew here today. There's 12 of us here tonight. The owners, Justin and Michelle, and their boys, and my boy. My older son handled Chic and my wife, and so we're going to have a good night anyway. We're going to have a ripper night.
Good on you, Pete. Group 1.
You ripper.
Pete Prosciutto, the winning trainer, Duke and Tim.
The Victorians are back. They're back in a big way, as we said earlier, Timmy. And here's the replay. Idolise, who only 3 starts back, took out the Group 2 Sandown Park Laurels, now takes out racing's Group 1 event here at Wentworth Park for the girls, the National Futurity. Look at that early speed.
Duke, I only met Peter for the first time here last week after the heats, and he's a lovely guy. He was pumped last week after taking out 2 of the heats, and I don't think he could wait to get back here tonight. I think he might have had a few sleepless nights during the week, and his sniper cam on the favourite Idolise and the winner. And when you're running those early sections, she did get a little wide at that first turn, Duke. She did that here last week in a heat, but when you're running those early sections, you're in front by 2 or 3. You can do whatever you like at that first corner.
Look at that beautiful motion. She's by My Redeemer out of High Tan greyhound that I think Peter bred, Michelle Nolan bred this litter by My Redeemer, and Idolise adds Group 1 glory to her Group 2 success at Sandown Park.
$3.10 and $1.60, $2.10, $2.90, Quentin $10.80. The trifecta's $114.50 and a little over $529. The first four, Duke. With $2 million chases coming up this year, a golden Easter egg before those races.
The locals will be hoping Caver comes back. Lock the joint down, the locals will be saying.
A greyhound you want to take, come to Wentworth Park with the traits of Idolise. She is the perfect Wentworth Park greyhound. She's a lip pinger, she's got a high speed, she runs time bowling along in the lead.
Absolutely, Timmy, and we've said it time and time again. You know, what do you want? You want a greyhound who is an average beginner who has to have luck, or do you want a greyhound who absolutely lead pings? And again, we've seen, you and I said it during the week, and then we were talking about greyhounds who didn't begin here at Wentworth Park, and I distinctly remember High Earner, Group 1 champion. I don't think he ever nailed the start here at Wentworth Park. They either do or they don't, and it opened that can of worms about should we have uniform starting boxes in New South Wales and Victoria. There's not a lot of difference, I can tell you that, folks. It might be that much in the grill size on the front of the box, but that might be enough to change how a dog begins, and we've seen it time and time again. When they do nail it here, you want them to nail it like Idolise, as you said. $2 million chases. I guarantee Peter Prosciutto will be here. He could be back here next Saturday night for a grade 5.
He might be moving up here in the next couple of months. He might just pull into a holiday park somewhere and kennel the dogs, pick out someone's property out, Western Sydney. I'll tell you what, it might be his second home by the end of the year, Duke. With a couple of bitches like that, Duke. Sheik's a greyhound, Duke will probably get over longer in time. It'll be interesting how long Peter will keep her over the spreading trip, but she's a greyhound who could certainly make waves when she does get over the longer journey as well.
Yeah, and Idolise, Timmy, that was her 9th win from 17 starts. As I said, she adds the Group 1 National Futurity to her CV, as well as the Group 2 Sandown Laurels. Ronnie Arnold is trackside now for the presentation of the Group 1 National Futurity, sponsored by Ladbrokes.
And a little girl by the name of Chick has run second. And third prize from the Andrew Bell team, it is Coco Model. Come behind me, Amos. Come behind. What a wonderful night it's certainly been with these two big races. And some wonderful results with Quinellas everywhere. Certainly something to be very proud of. And Ladbrokes have once again, they seem to pull all the freakish record books here, but they've got something that'll never happen again in racing. But again, I'd like to call upon Greg from the Ladbrokes team to come forward. I'll get Peter to come forward in amongst the celebrations here. Peter, come forward, please, to accept the trophy from the Ladbrokes, Greg. And certainly the champagne, the gold medallion, the whole bit. And certainly a wonderful achievement. We've also got the bronze and silver medallions for our place getters. But it's something very special you're seeing here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, with the training team and the ownership team running 1-2 in a national futurity, it's something that you can only dream about. We saw it happen with the ownership breeders in the previous, and to double it up is something absolutely outstanding. I must admit we haven't heard much about this gentleman, Peter Prosciutto, but I tell you what, we're going to see him here at Wentworth Park a fair bit throughout 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to the ownership team. A wonderful effort to you, to Peter. Be a very proud man this evening, I can assure you. And once again to Ladbrokes. Again, the history books are going to show you've achieved something tonight with Quinellas 1-2 in both big races.
There's Ronnie Arnold down the trackside, and hopefully we'll get Peter Prosciutto up here to our broadcasting spot and ask him exactly how it feels to not only train a Group 1 winner, but to train a Quinella in a Group 1 event, particularly here at Wentworth Park. On screen there is Idolise, the 2022 winner of the National Futurity. And look at that, tears of joy for the connections of Idolise. And also Chic and Andrew Bell, well done with Coco Model, a greyhound he purchased off Andy Lord earlier or late last year. And Andrew Bell runs third.
Yeah, she's been a good little buy, Coco Model. I think they paid a good deal of money for her, but she's made a Group 1 final. She'll be a good brew bitch down the track, Duke. And she's going to win plenty of races, particularly with her racing traits around here at Woodworth Park. There's not too many greyhounds who can get out of the boxes and run the early sections. She does, and she'll just get stronger and stronger as she matures along the way. But she was gallant tonight, but all honours to Idolise, and Chic was gallant in runner-up.
All right, that is race 5, the first leg of the quaddie. Race 6 is a 4th and 5th grade event. It's over the 520 metres. Then we go into the listed Collison race 7, and then race 8, the big one, the Group 1 Paws of Thunder. Here's an early look at the market for race number 6 on the card. And Chrissy Benner off the rails at 290, 320 for Flighty Fernando. Out to Zipping Demand and also Tara Whitehead. They're at $6.50, $10 all better. The rest headed up by the Group 1 winner, Light and Lily, who draws box 5.
Gee, Duke, I really struggle with this race. I thought the trickiest race of the night. I actually had Susie's Face on top before the scratchings. She came out earlier today. In the end, I've landed on Tara Whitehead from the wide alley. I think he's really good value in the race. Chrissy Banner, she's a greyhound who can put time on the board when everything does go her way. I don't think she's suited to an inside draw. She's a funny greyhound because looking at her racing style, you would think she wants the rails, but I think she's better drawn wider out sometimes with pressure coming down hard from the outside. Flighty Fernando could easily lead this race, and gee, he's racing really, really well, really consistently at the moment, Duke.
Yeah, look, I do take into account what you say about Chrissy Banner probably not wanting to get it, but we've only got to go back 2 starts. She ran 25.87, winning a free-for-all at Bulli. On a night, she can bounce, she can lead. If she does lead and get clear air, I think she can win this race.
Oh, they won't run her down if she does lead. She's pretty strong at the end of 520 metres. She's got a 29.79 PB around here, and the majority of these greyhounds can't get down to those figures. I think she's deserved favourite, but I just went searching for a little bit of value.
Great scenes here trackside following the running of the Group 1 National Futurity. We hope you're enjoying our coverage. We'll take a break and come back with more right after this.
It's the most exciting racing New South Wales has ever seen. The Greyhound Super Series presents the Ladbrokes Paws of Thunder Night.